How was
What are we
your
at here?
How was your Memorial Day? How was your Memorial Day?
My Memorial Day was pretty good. No, so what did I do? Went to church, as everyone should, and then yesterday.
I'm asking about Memorial Day, which was Monday.
Yes, it was just yesterday. Yeah, I went to church. I just sat there and looked at it.
Sat in the parking lot. Let me in.
Yeah, that's confusing because I think what people do oftentimes is they celebrate Memorial Day on Memorial Day weekend. So like multiple things end up happening.
Yeah.
So you ask me, how was your Memorial Day? And I'm like, what did I do yesterday specifically? So like my sister-in-law had a birthday party on Saturday. So we got to hang out and kind of like that would have been a good enough hurrah for the weekend, for the Memorial Day weekend in general. But we ended up, so yesterday, what did we do specifically yesterday? We did something. Oh, we went over to a friend's house, family friend's house. We had dinner, played football catch, because I didn't have all of my baseball gloves at the time. But yeah, I celebrated I don't know if you celebrated, but the Oscar Mayer 500 that they did, where they have the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles.
Mm-hmm.
My buddies from church, they threw a weenie party, and everybody had to come and bring weenies. And I made some little mini corn dog dudes, and he made some Smokies. I don't know what it was like. Growing up, I always didn't like Smokies. Actually, I thought they tasted weird, but this time around they were so good, and I was like, dude, these Smokies are so good. Shout out my buddy Riley. I was like, these Smokies are so good. Everything he makes is just like a little bit better than I remember the way I've had them. So he was like, it's just Sweet Baby Ray's, baby. And I was like, are you kidding? I'm so white.
The sauce is the boss.
Oh my gosh. That's so true. Yeah, I had some of those, but it's been a long weekend. We've done a lot of stuff. We've been staying busy. So,
yeah.
How about you? How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Relaxing.
Good.
I am not going to pretend like I remember really what all happened, but Sunday we made smash burger tacos. We pulled those back out. We hadn't had them in forever. Delicious still. But yesterday,
very nice.
Yesterday went out back, got the sprinkler out for kiddo.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a good dad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Smoked some wings. So we did a DoorDash delivery like a week ago, and I don't know, when you do a DoorDash delivery with Walmart, it's inevitable that you will get something that you didn't order, or you'll be missing something. And this time our bonus was a pack of wings. So it's like, hey, I smoked some wings, and they were delicious. And then
smoking on that wing pack.
Yep. And we got a new fern for the corner of our house, and then we
amazing.
We trimmed our bushes out front, and this is where Celeste and I are at in our life. We're like, we keep driving by the bushes. We're like, dude, those bushes look so good. That's where we're at.
Hey, man. Every man is allowed to be proud of the things they do with their hands. So if you're out there sweating, making your bushes look good, hey, that is completely valid to sit back and look at it and be proud.
You got to make your bushes look good.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Gotta trim them. Get that weed whacker out.
You know who else looked good? Stephen Kolek looked good over the weekend. Let's talk about it.
Ooh. First complete game shutout for the Royals since Brad Keller almost 6 years ago. Can you believe it? 2020, what a time. I know that was interesting. I was married the same month. You had your baby the same month. That was a long time ago.
I know.
So
I was shocked. I know complete games are a rarity in MLB, but I was like, 6 years ago? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't check, but I'm like,
It's kinda gross.
Surely somebody's thrown a complete game since then. But yeah, I'm like, a complete game shutout has been 6 years in the making for the Royals. And Brad Keller, of all people.
Yeah, I know. When it happened, it almost felt like a no-hitter. Like, I was so happy for Kolek. And, of course, it comes from a guy that has only made 20-something appearances in his entire career. He's had 9 starts for the Royals. 8 of them have been quality starts, by the way. And it's like, you've had Chris Bubich on the roster for years. You've had Cole Reagans in his prime, basically, for years. You've had Seth Lugo, who has, I'm not going to say he's in his prime necessarily, but he is still basically elite.
Yeah.
I mean, one of our best pitchers, at least he's supposed to be. And, of course, the complete game shutout comes from Stephen Kolek, a guy that we've only had for
not even a year.
Not even a whole season.
He was part
He's
of
made
the
9 appearances.
He was part of the Freddie Fermin trade.
Yeah.
And that's what's nice. Like, I know, like, Noah Cameron has kind of regressed, and he's like the typical 5th starter now. We still like Noah Cameron. I don't have anything against him.
Yeah.
But like Kolek,
Yeah.
Kolek comes in. Like, we know who Noah Cameron is because of an injury. I believe a Cole Reagan's injury. Yes. Or was it Bubich?
Oh yeah, no. Wait. Who got injured first? Because I'm pretty sure it was Reagans that got injured first,
Okay.
and then Bubich like messed himself up for the whole season.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So
we know Noah Cameron because of Reagans. We already kind of knew who Kolek was, but now we know who Kolek is because of Cole Reagans. So shout out Cole Reagans. Not really. We wish Cole Reagans was here, but what I'm saying is, it's nice to have serviceable starting pitching because, you know, I would say 10 years ago, maybe not 10 years ago, in that 10 to 15 year range, you know, a starter goes down, and let's say James Shields goes down or whoever goes down, you're not like super happy.
you're bringing in Chris Medlin.
Yeah.
You're bringing in
Chris Medlin,
Young.
Yeah. You're bringing in those guys, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. They're 50-50 guys. Whereas Kolek, like I mentioned a second ago, he's only ever had, in his 9 appearances, he's only ever had 1 start that did not, it wasn't a quality start. So he's becoming the second coming of Michael Wacha, Mr. Quality Start. A couple fun little stats. So 1 year and 2 weeks ago, Stephen Kolek threw a complete game shutout with the Padres. In the last 15 years, only 3 pitchers have had 2 shutouts in their first 23 starts of their career. That was Rays pitcher Chris Archer and Royals legend Mike Montgomery. So he's only had 23 career starts, and he's already thrown 2 complete game shutouts. In this, so his stat line for this game, for this complete game shutout, obviously 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 108 pitches, 69 of which were strikes, by the way, and he had 2 strikeouts. 2 strikeouts is a stat that you kind of want. It jumps out. You're like, a complete game shutout and only 2 strikeouts. How is that possible?
And
it has been. Go ahead.
That strikeout came in like the 7th inning too. So it was like most of the game, and they're like, dude, is he going to throw a strikeout? But the lack of strikeouts, I think, is why he was able to do this in 108 pitches.
Yeah, you're right. But to mention that, it's been 4 years since a pitcher in the MLB has thrown a complete game shutout with only 2 strikeouts. And that player was Reed Detmers. He did it in May of 22 as part of a no-hitter that he threw against for the Angels. And that's what kind of why, or for the Angels. But that's kind of why I'm sitting back. I'm kind of feeling like this is a rarity for the Royals fans to have a complete game shutout. And it feels like a no-hitter almost. We won 5-0, so it was a great game overall. And to have the Royals need a shining light. We have looked so many places this season for someone to step up and perform. And so far, Kolek has been maybe one of the only guys that jumps out at me right now that has done exactly that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about that, I think they even mentioned on the broadcast, like maybe this game will be the turning point for the Royals. Now, that might have been a little jump in the gun, but I was noticing, obviously, like, you notice the crowd, the energy coming through the TV. Like, it was, Kauffman Stadium was electric on Saturday when he did that. And I'm like, the Royals needed that. The fans needed something to grasp onto, just because there hadn't been anything really to celebrate since then. And
Yeah, it ended another losing streak. So, and the Royals, they have moments where they feel back. Like they feel like this is the momentum flipping moment that we've been waiting for. And we've had a few of those already. Not to skip ahead too far into our show set list, but like even yesterday, must-win game against the Yankees, and we blow it. And it just feels like that felt like a momentum swing. It felt like if we win that game, that could be not necessarily a huge turning point, but it's something that your team has to have just for like the in-clubhouse mentality and vibe in general.
Well,
so
yeah, and I'll just kind of piggyback off of that, of like that game was set up for the Royals to almost make a name for themselves, because it was Memorial Day, national television on ESPN against the Yankees, bottom of the eighth. Bobby Witt Jr. smokes a line drive home run, and you're like, oh, the Royals are winning this game. And then Lucas Ursig comes in, has like one of the dumbest singles ever that he gives up, and then just starts throwing meatballs, and you're like, yeah, this team's just not good enough. They're just not good enough. But there were positives to talk about yesterday as far as the Royals go, and that's Salvador Perez.
Yeah.
And he did something
King Salvi.
Pretty sweet. So we've been watching his home run journey. He's on the way to passing George Brett. George Brett, as you know, has 317 career home runs. Salvador Perez now has 312. But
yes, sir,
he just tied George Brett for home runs at Kauffman Stadium. So I'm going to pass it over to you so you can get into those numbers.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So George Brett, before Salvador Perez hit his solo home run the other day, emphasize that because I'm still angry about that. He had 136. Salvi came in with 135. He hits his solo home run in the Sonic Slam inning. That brings Sonic Slam home runs to 12 this season. That passes all of last year already. Monday was also the official 1/3 of the way through the season mark. So that's just kind of a fun, in a third of the season, we already passed all of 2025 Sonic Slam innings, which is really cool. Sonic's in shambles. They're in the red.
Partnership over. Because they had to give one of them was $25K. So
yeah, they're already over budget. They're screwed. But no, George Brett had 136. That Salvi gets up to 136 as well in Kauffman Stadium. So this is officially George Brett and Salvador Perez's house. We talked about it last week, how we were kind of saying who would we say is the best Royals players of all time, and it was kind of a small list. We'd say George Brett, kind of a big gap, Salvador Perez, kind of another big gap, and then we'd find players like Frank White, Alex Gordon, so on and so forth. But that home run has him at 136. He's officially tied at Kauffman with George Brett. Super fun. And then this is something funny. It's a little bit of a cope, but at the same time, still cool because it's a great player. Salvador Perez passed Ivan Rodriguez for career home runs because just so happens they're the only two Latin-born full-time catchers. Ivan Rodriguez, obviously, Hall of Fame, amazing catcher. He played for Tigers and the Marlins. I remember him with the Tigers.
The Rangers,
obviously, they're a rival, so I wasn't a huge fan. But, yeah, Rangers. But big name to pass up. So while we were kind of making our show notes today, Brandon and I, we were looking at different stats and different things, and I noticed a tweet, and I had to call it out. So Salvador Perez is 12 home runs and 29 RBIs away from every primary catcher ahead of him in those two stats being in the Hall of Fame. So what he's saying is out of every primary catcher in the Hall of Fame, Salvi is only 12 home runs behind and 29 RBIs behind any of those players. And you and I pulled up a few things because right off the bat, I thought of Yogi Berra and Mike Piazza, and I was like, there's no way that's true.
I thought of Johnny
Salvi's
Bench.
at 312. Yeah, Johnny Bench, probably the best one out of all those names. So I was thinking If he's at 312, if he hits 12 more home runs, he's at 324. That's not even close to Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza had over 400. So we pulled up on baseballalmanac.com all of the Hall of Fame catchers and their accompanying stats. So after looking at all these stats, Salvador Perez is admittedly top 10 offensively all time, easily. Quickly looking here at some of the stats. So batting average, Salvador Perez right now is at 263. Actually, looking at these numbers, that's kind of on the lower third, actually. But RBIs, he's top 10. Home runs, if he finishes his career strong, he could finish top 5. Right now, he's at 312.
He's 7th all time.
Yeah, he's 7th all time. So if he passes the likes of...
He's 7th amongst Hall of Famers.
Yes, Hall of Fame catchers. The likes of Gary Carter at 324. Yogi Berra at 358. That's a little bit more ambitious of a number, but he could find himself top 5 if he has a solid finish of this year. Let's say he hits 30 home runs this season. He's at 9 now. That'd be 21 more, so he would be at, quick math, 333. And then if he hit 30 more, that'd be 363. That would have him top 5, which is really, really cool. Totally attainable, by the way, because that's a Salvi number that he's done many times in his career. So
he's on pace for 27. So yeah.
So do that twice and you're there, top 5, which would be really cool. Obviously, he has to get there. He has to have another healthy season after this one, which, lots of Royals fans, the sentiment online has kind of been like, put Salvi in a spot where he belongs. Like you and I even had that conversation last week where, he's obviously on the last couple years of his career. He knows he wants to retire soon. And he's becoming a different player. He's basically like, I'll pop a couple home runs here and there. I'll bloop a few singles with runners on base, but that's really all I'm good for.
Yeah, I'm still going to swing at that slider or sweeper going low and outside.
Yeah. Don't even talk about it. But defensively, he's one of the best all time. I was looking. Ivan Rodriguez had 13 Gold Gloves. Johnny Bench had 10. Soon to be Hall of Famer Yadier Molina has 9. But then if Salvi gets in, he'll be at 5. That'll have him at 4th all time Gold Gloves defensively. So one of the best. And it's funny, you said it a second ago. Yadier Molina thing. His hang up was he was not good on offense. He was great defensively.
Nobody's thinking about Yadier Molina and how great of an offensive player he was, because he wasn't. But defensively, because I remember whenever Salvi came up, because when Salvi came up, Salvi was like, oh my gosh, he's like the second coming of Yadier Molina defensively. And it was like, you argue with Cardinals fans, they're like, no, he's not even close. Like, well, Salvador Perez, he's kind of fallen off defensively, but he's a more complete player than Yadier Molina ever was. So
yeah. If you gave me the option of Yadier Molina or Salvador Perez, rookie signed day one, if I'm starting a team, I'm picking Salvi all day. He's an excellent game caller. Absolute blessing to have in Kansas City. He's done so much for not only the team, the community, everything. So we're really happy that we get to spend this time, covering the Royals during such a historic time for Salvi. So thank you, Salvador. Everybody loves Salvi.
He's also the best at ABS challenges. He's won 75% of his challenges behind the plate.
Dude. Let's freaking go, dude.
But yeah,
and who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, it's cool.
Of course, he's the best at that.
We were looking at Salvi's offensive numbers, and I honestly hadn't really thought about it, and like it kind of put it into perspective. Like, oh my goodness, like Salvador Perez is great, but I'm like looking at the other Hall of Fame catchers' numbers, and I said it, and I almost didn't believe it, but I'm like, Salvador Perez is a top 10 offensive catcher all time, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not crazy to say. He definitely is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like, the Royals have only had one Major League Baseball Hall of Famer in George Brett, and you have Salvador Perez, who is going to be the second one. Yeah. What a time to be alive.
But yeah, so we love Salvi. Everybody loves Salvi. And then that series was a lot of ups and I mean, it's only been one game, but it felt like I watched a whole series again against the Yankees just in that one game. Like the solo home runs, once again, I've been crying about solo home runs all season. Salvi hits a 6-inning solo home run. and Bobby hits a solo home run to give us the lead in the 8th. And it's like, guys, can we not find a single guy to get on base?
I mean,
that's kind of step one. Like, those things happen before the train falls off the rails with Urseg. Like, I'm kind of like, something you don't like is the ghost runner. This is a kind of a weird segue, but you don't like the ghost runner in extra innings, right?
I don't.
The reason that I do like the ghost runner, yeah. But my main argument is, if you can't do it in 9 innings, you had 9 innings to do it right the first time. If you can't get that done, then I don't want to sit here and keep watching that crap for another 7 more innings into the extra innings.
I'm a sick individual, okay? And I can do it.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah. So, just kind of pointing the finger. Like, I'm not going to get mad at Salvador Perez for hitting a solo home run. I'm not going to get mad at Bobby for hitting a solo home run. I'm mad at the team for not being able to get on base. Was Bobby's a leadoff home run?
Bobby was a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 8th. So, I mean, he can't really do anything. But in the 7th, did we have anybody on base? And, like, I can't remember the 7th inning. Let's just real quick. Let me pull that up because I don't remember the actual game log. I
have to.
Yeah,
I have to
look at the game log, but I just can't. Like, for me, like, Job had one bro in Lucas Urseg, right? Like, your job, you are the closer for a Major League Baseball team because Carlos Estevez is injured. Dude. You're the closer. Your job is to go into high leverage situations as the closer and finish the game out, and you failed to do that, and you came in a low leverage situation the day before and were also terrible.
Gave up 3 runs
against the Mariners. And yeah, you had like a really stupid single with some nasty spin on it off of that Paul Goldschmidt hit, but then you just are like serving up meatballs to the Yankees, and you are the closer. That's it.
Yeah, same song, different verse. Like, as soon as Goldschmidt gets on, I hear the call by Jake Eisenberg. As soon as he gets on, it's like, oh no, here it goes. And then Jazz Chisholm comes up, the one guy that everyone hates. What's going to happen? Oh, of course, he's the guy that gets a double and gets him in scoring position, and then like, it's just so exactly what can't happen happens. Every time.
Let me just read you Lucas Urseg's stats over his last 7 games. This is from MLB.com. Over his last 7 games, he's has a 7.71 ERA. I don't need to tell you how bad that is. He has 2 saves, 7 innings pitched. He's given up 13 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He has a 2.29 WHIP, which is horrendous.
Lights on, Lucas.
So,
lights on. Turn the lights off, Lucas. They just gave out his bobblehead last week, and this is how he's playing. This is how he rewards fans.
In 2026, Lucas Urseg is tied for the most blown saves in MLB with 4. He's up there with Kenley Jansen, Hall of Famer, Adrian Morejon. I don't actually know who that is, but he's...
What team is that guy for, to say?
He says he's with the Padres, which doesn't make sense to me. But then
Mason Miller.
Yeah, Riley O'Brien with St. Louis, who's been actually one of the better closers in baseball. But yeah, that's... You can't have that. And I said it in my recap, kind of teasing the Yankees game. The Royals, going back to 2025, they are 0-9 against the Yankees. They've lost to them 6 times last year. They're actually 0-11 if you want to go back to the postseason in 24. But 0-9, they're 0-3 in 2026. The Royals have obviously not been good. They're like 10 games under 500. They're way far back in the division. If you are going to get back into the postseason conversation, you can't do what you just did yesterday. You had everything lined up for you to win against the Yankees, and your closer couldn't get the job done. And you said it. The Royals just don't have a closer.
Yeah. And I said it last week in our show. I asked, is this something that needs to be addressed? Like, big question mark. And your answer was, I don't know if that's it. I think we have the guys in place that need to do it. They just got to get right. And that's the entire team. We have the guys that can do it. We know that they can. They just have to do the job. But when you have a thing like closer where you play a whole 9 innings or 8 innings, and then you have one job, like Job had one bro. He comes in and he's supposed to pitch for 3 outs, and he can't even do that without giving up the lead every time. And thank God the Royals were up 8-3 on Sunday or whatever day that was against the Mariners. Like, it didn't even matter that he gave up the 3 runs, but it still was like the whole team, as like the team as a whole is underperforming, but that role specifically is something that can be fixed. Like, I foresee a future where Chris Bubich and Cole Reagans are back. Steven Kolek just pitched a complete game shutout, and he has thrown 8 quality starts out of 9 opportunities. Which guy on the starting rotation is going to have to go? I'm not letting Kolek go. I'm not sending him back down, and I'm not putting him in the bullpen. He just threw 108 pitches, and he was able to give up 0 runs. There's someone on that starting rotation. I'm sorry to say, one of them's going to have to either become a bullpen arm or something. Hey,
you have to have a conversation about a trade, I think.
If that's the case, then I mean, would we trade one of our starters? Since now that we have Kolek, do we trade one of our starters for somebody and somebody? Like, I don't know if that's it, but we trade for Nick Mears. We get Collins and Zerpa back for Zerpa. Wait, I might have misspoke there. We got Collins and Nick Mears back for Zerpa, and then we had to supplement by going and getting Matt Strom, okay? Because he's a lefty and Zerpa was a lefty. Nick Mears has not been good at all this season.
No.
And
Nick Mears has been the player that is like, oh my goodness, here we go.
Yeah, here comes McNears. It's like whenever there's that one video of some stupid relief pitcher sprinting in from the bullpen, and the catcher's just like,
yeah.
Yeah, every time Nick Mears comes into that. And Matt Strom, he hasn't been performing well either. So the 2 answers we got from Zerpa, who, by the way, we won that trade because he's out for the season, like, both of those pitchers have not been the answer. And Daniel Lynch IV, who's been with the Royals for who knows how long now, is actually one of our only good, like, nails relievers. And if Lucas Lucas was the setup guy for Estevez last year. He's not a closer. We've determined this over the last couple of weeks. With Estevez being gone, Urseg has only had a couple saves out of all of his opportunities, and he's blown it 4 times. And that's 4 games. As far as I'm concerned, a blown save it's a one-person mistake, where like the team, they did their job to get you to where you are. Obviously, I did pull it up here. Nick Lofton he hit a double, and Nick Lofton was on base in the 7th inning, and Lane Thomas flies out. Michael Garcia, who I could talk all day about his crappy effort, how he's been hitting ground balls to third base every single at bat. He grounds out, and then the next inning, Bobby comes up and hits a home run. If Lane Thomas can get on base, if Markel Garcia can get on base, they're probably driving in Nick Lofton, and then Bobby might hit a home run. That's 3 runs instead of 1. If one guy can do their job. So I'm kind of crying about a little bit of both things, but one of the things I wanted to bring up during this Job Had One Bro is Matt Quatrero. Yes, Urseg is to blame because he's the guy that gave up the runs. But if you're Matt Quatrero in this situation, if you're the Royals manager, do you bring in the guy in one of the most big, awesome momentum swing moments of the season? It's a holiday. The stadium is packed. Bobby just hit a go-ahead home run. Are you looking in the bullpen and saying, yeah, that guy that gave up 3 runs yesterday in a low-leverage situation to a team that's worse than the Yankees? Yeah, bring him in. Let's bring that guy in. That was management malpractice. Like, I've been defending this guy a lot, and I'm not calling for his job, really. I'm not saying he needs to be fired. I'm saying, wake up, dude. Like, on what earth is that the call you make? I know you already used Daniel Lynch, and I know that you don't want to turn the game over to a guy like Steven Cruz because he's also proved to not be that freaking reliable. But I am not bringing in Urseg after that. That is not the time for a get right game.
I don't agree with that because I think you bring Urseg is your closer. You're in a save situation. Your closer is available. Therefore, your closer comes in. I would make the argument, why was he in the game in a low leverage spot on Sunday? That's what I would argue.
Yeah. And they said it on the broadcast. He needed to get some work in. He hadn't pitched in a couple days, and he needed to get work in. But then he ends up going over 30 pitches, which they said on the broadcast. Jeff Montgomery says 30 pitches was our limit. If we did 30, that means you're unavailable the next day.
Yeah, that's been like the old kind of unwritten thing.
Yeah. So here Q does. I thought he was Mr. Analytics, going against the analytics and against the unwritten rules. Like, doesn't make any sense. There was a couple other stats that we could bring up, but a little bit irrelevant. And I just keep seeing these moves that Q is making, where it's like, why are we pinch hitting for Caglione in a big game? Like, if you're a major league manager, you only have a couple jobs, and you said it. You have a lot of people in your ear helping you out make decisions, but you're the guy that's ultimately making that decision. Like, I get what you're saying, that he's the closer, but I'm not doing it. Sue me. I also say I wouldn't have given him a low leverage spot. That would have been any other person's get right game. That's Nick Muir's get right game. I don't know if he pitched that game, but
yeah, I don't.
Bring in someone else that needs to have his innings. Bring in John Schreiber. Bring in Schreiber when it's 8-3 against the Mariners on a Sunday night.
No, I'm with you. But that's like the hard thing right now is like we're having the conversation about the bullpen and how they're not performing and X, Y, and Z. But on it now, you look at it and this bullpen is depleted. Like the Royals didn't plan on having Luander Avila in their bullpen. They didn't plan on having Steven Cruz in their bullpen. They didn't plan on having Eli Morgan in their bullpen. But here they are in their bullpen because of injuries. So it's kind of like, hey, if I'm Matt Quatraro, the Royals are up 3-2. We are 0-9 against the Yankees. We have to win this game. Urseg is my best shot. That's the thought process to me. Because it's like, what if you do? Because I think, man, if we're trotting Eli Morgan out there or anybody else, we're going, what on earth are we doing? Like, to me, it just makes sense to bring out Lucas Urseg in that situation. I don't know what
it does if Sunday doesn't happen. If Sunday does not happen, then it makes total sense. Like, I will agree with you there, because you're coming from that was our best shot, but I wouldn't have put him in on Sunday. I completely agree with that. But since Sunday did happen, you can't put him in that situation. That's just where you can't, you shouldn't.
I just don't agree with that.
You disagree, but
yeah. Well, I think it's like baseball is such a like move past it next game, and you want to like it's like Andy Reid when a player fumbles, like a running back fumbles, or whoever has an opportunity and they squander it. We know as Chiefs fans that Andy Reid is going back to that person immediately because they're not going to abandon it. And I think that's kind of like, hey, Lucas, yesterday wasn't great, but we believe in you. We're going to put you in this spot because we believe in you. And I think it's like a mental thing more than anything.
Yeah. All right. So then, quick question: what happens tonight? 3-2 game, same situation. Bobby just hit a go-ahead home run, 9th inning. Are you bringing in Lucas Urseg? No. Actually, erase this because he's not available tonight. Tomorrow night, 3-2 against the Yankees, where we lost 2 out of. Oh, let's say we win tonight, so we can take the series tomorrow night or Wednesday night, whenever you're listening to this. 3-2 game, 9th inning. Are you bringing in Lucas Urseg to get right?
I would not be shocked if Lucas Urseg comes in that situation, because again, like, one, who else is going to do it? But two,
I wouldn't be shocked either, because that's a stupid decision by Quatraro, and that's his track record so far. The question is, what do you do?
I mean, if you're wanting me to, like, hey, let's do something different, then it's like, okay, why not? Daniel Lynch has shown that he is really good. So, hey, let's put Daniel Lynch in a high leverage situation. I just read off Lucas Urseg's stats over the last week plus. They're not good. Yeah. So, hey, maybe it is let's put Daniel Lynch in. I know that it's largely dependent on matchups sometimes, but I think you have to throw that out the window a little bit with a bolt.
You got a point.
I think I said it last week. There are 1.5 players that you are confident in the Royals bullpen, and that's Daniel Lynch the fourth, and the half player is Lucas Urseg. So it's like Lucas Urseg could come in on Wednesday and throw 9 pitches and just have a 1-2-3 inning, and we'd be like, oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. So on the active roster, in the bullpen right now, we have Luinder Avila, Steven Cruz, Lucas Urseg. Bailey Falter was in the bullpen, but he's making a start tonight, Tuesday. So he's more of an opener than he is a starter, but Falter's kind of in there. Alex Lang, Daniel Lynch IV, Nick Mears, Eli Morgan, John Schreiber. Man, Alex Lang, Luinder Avila, okay, Lang, Avila, Lynch, Schreiber have short leash belief for setup innings, not closer innings, setup innings. Avila, I could see him being a closer because he's kind of like the Wade Davis archetype where he's supposed to be a starter. He's gotten a few opportunities, not doing too well. Throw him, have him throwing his 99-mile-per-hour change-ups in the ninth inning. What's going to happen? But Daniel Lynch IV being that 6'6" lefty, I would not be mad to see that. But I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're saying. I look at this list and it's like, is this going to cut it? That's kind of why I said, do we need to make a move? And then my skepticism gets validated by another week of horrible, treacherous, worst case scenario performances by Lucas Ursay.
Yeah.
So
and I think at this point, it's kind of like, well, who are we going to call up, or who are we going to, we're not going to trade for anybody, especially with the position that the Royals are in. They've dug themselves a hole, so it's not like the Royals are in first place, so they're half a game back, so let's make a move or whatever. But it's now, hey, Ursay isn't working. Who the heck knows when Carlos Estevez is going to come back? At this point, I'm not going to punt on 2026, but you're getting close to the thought process of having to punt on 2026. So do you just go, you know what?
Yeah.
Screw it. Steven Cruz, get in there. Why not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a good point. And that's exactly what I've been trying to say. They've been the kings of Piccolo and Cuchero are the kings of, I'm going to try something different. Usually it's why would you do that? There's so many things you could try. Yeah. Why would you try that? But why are they not doing it now? So to your point, depending on 2026, looking at the stats, looking at the standings, AL Central right now, Guardians are first. They're 9 games ahead of the Royals. They're 32-24. Second place is the White Sox. They're 3.5 games back of the lead of the Central. The Twins are in third. They're 5 games back. The Royals are fourth. They're 9 games back. And the Detroit Tigers, they are 1 game behind the Royals at 10 games back.
Crazy.
So
that's crazy.
Right now at home we're 15-15. Away we're 10 games under 500. We're 7-17. Against above 500 teams, we're 9-21. So against good teams, we suck. When we're not in Kauffman, we suck. And then whenever we're at home against teams under 500, we are average. So, yeah, not much to look at there. But then looking at the American League as a whole, the Tampa Bay Rays lead the American League East. They are 34-17. That is very, very good.
That's crazy.
The Guardians lead the Central. And then who would have guessed the Athletics? They're first in the West. They're an even 500. They're 27-27. The American League West is hilarious.
So
you would
bad.
have never have thought that the Mariners, Rangers, Astros, and Angels were all going to be under 500, but they're a lot like the Central.
Man.
We've been saying all season that the Central, AL Central, is the closest division in baseball. Right now, the closest division in baseball is the NL Central, but they're all good. All of them are above 500. The worst team in the division is the Pirates. They're 28-26.
And who's at the top? Milwaukee.
The Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah.
And the Cubs can't buy a win right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. So the AL West, it's Athletics, Mariners, Rangers, Astros, Angels. Number 1 team's 27-27. But to get to the reason I bring this up, the wild card standings. In the East, the Yankees are right behind the Rays. They are they lead the wild card race by 6 games. And then the White Sox in the Central, they're the next team in the wild card. They're 1.5 games up, and the third team in the wild card race right now is the Twins. They are 2 games below 500 right now. And then in the race right now, we aren't really in the race, but we're still, the reason I bring all this up, the Royals are 4 games back. That is a more attainable thing for us to look at right now. When we started this, when we were a couple weeks ago, we were a half game back of the Central. We were completely in the conversation of, can the Royals be the ones to run away with the Central? And we totally thought we were there because we were hot. We were 10 out of the last 15, and that's where we were at. We thought that was completely attainable. Fast forward a couple weeks, we've been hot trash. We lost 9 out of 10 games. Now we're 3 out of 10 games, and we are the third from last in the entire American League. But it's still a tight American League. You know, the hot team, the best teams are the best, and then everyone else kind of just suck because they're all just kind of average.
This is where I get annoyed about expansion in sports, postseason expansion in sports rather, is I'm mostly for expansion, other than what the NBA is doing, where it's literally a third of the league gets into the playoffs in some capacity. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's dumb.
But
yeah,
there is no reason we should be able to have a conversation with where the Royals are at and go, whoa, they're only 4 back in the wild card. Like, why, the third wild card team is 2 games under 500? Is that what you said? That's ridiculous. That should never happen.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to shift gears here a little bit. So throughout this week, as we're kind of planning for this episode, we're having to be real with ourselves and realistic and go, yeah, this season's not going very well. And we're like, as a podcast, do we want to continue to just say the same things week in and week out? And, you know, for the most part, we probably will be saying a lot of the same things. But what else can we do on Everybody Loves Royals to keep us and viewers interested? And we were like, well, one thing we haven't really talked about was the minor league system in MLB. So, like, today we want to do a little bit of an overview. I know that Moses is making this way more of an ordeal than I intended, but hey, that's what we do. And but we want to just do an overview,
keep it real with you guys,
of the Royals farm system and just gloss over some stuff, and we'll get a little deeper into it and do more with it as the season goes on. But just right now, an overview. I think a lot of you already know what's going on, but some of you maybe don't. So this will be either like preaching to the choir or, oh, this is news to me today. So let's just kind of get into it. There are multiple levels of minor league baseball: AAA, AA, High A, Single A, Rookie Ball. So we go through those teams. So you have the Omaha Storm Chasers in AAA. And the way that AAA works is actually really fun, and maybe we could have
this is probably the most relevant. Yeah, it might be the most relevant because, you know, when players are coming and going from Omaha, every time you see a transaction, it's with Omaha. From Omaha. So this is the yeah.
So the way the MLB or that AAA works, their playoff system is they have first half standings and second half standings. So if you at the end of the first half you win, you have the best record, you automatically make the playoffs at the end of the season. You could be straight dog doo-doo in the second half of the season, but since you were the best first half team, you're in the postseason. So just right now, Omaha Storm Chasers, they're 25-25. They're 5.5 games back in the International League. And Moses has some tidbits he wants to get into on them.
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to talk about each of these teams, how they became affiliated, and just kind of like an overall overview of like how the minor leagues works in general. So to get started with it, I have a few notes. So they're the longest affiliated AAA team in Major League history. Since 1969, when the Royals became a team, when they were an expansion team, the Omaha Royals, they were born in Omaha, and if you're counting AA and AAA teams, they're just a couple years. In 67, in 67, the Phillies affiliate team and the Tigers affiliate teams were born. So it's more fun if you say they're the longest AAA team in MLB history. But they rebranded in 2011 to the Storm Chasers whenever they moved to Werner Park in Omaha. Yep. I remember that day. Yeah. I remember when I started seeing the Storm Chasers logo and everything, and I was like,
Rip
Omaha Royals. And one of the things I wanted to say about AAA is I've always been confused about. There's a funny term that is spoken that people will say this player doesn't have any options left. And when I first heard that, I was like, yeah, he's out of options. What's he gonna do now? Like, I don't have like, you know, like when you hear that, you're like, I'm out of options. Yeah, you're out of options. So yeah, it's like this guy can't be moved because he's out of options. And it's like, I was so confused. But the reason they say that is whenever a player is in the major leagues and they get sent down to Omaha, it's being called optioned back to Omaha, okay? And each player has 3 option years. If you spend 20 days or more in the minor league system per that year and you get called up and sent back down, that's an option year automatically. So then you can go up and down all year, no matter what, however long you want. But then there's some players, and this is relevant for the Royals because there was, I want to say Bailey Falter. Or one of these guys. It's either Ryan Berger, Kolek, Falter, one of those guys. They didn't have any options left when the season started. So they either had to start in Omaha and get called up later, or they had to start in the major leagues. And you had to stay there all year, or else you have to get DFA'd. Being DFA'd is you're designated for assignment. You either have to get traded, cut, or claimed off of waivers by a different team. So usually whenever the Royals are kind of releasing somebody, for example, not to get ahead of myself, but the Royals just announced that Elias Diaz is being DFA'd because they're bringing up from Omaha Tyler Tolbert, who I assume is going to be in his option year. He's probably going to be going up and down all year because pitchers are going to be coming and going, that kind of thing. So Diaz is either going to get traded to a different team, he's going to get claimed off of waivers by a different team, or we're just going to have to outright release him. And what's most likely going to happen, he's not going to get claimed off of waivers, and we're just going to bring him back into the minor leagues. He'll be in AAA.
So moving on to AA, the Royals AA affiliate, the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. They are 22-23, 6.5 games back in the Texas League. So that's the AA and AAA affiliates are not doing too hot so far in 2026.
And so a little backstory of the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. They started as the Wichita Wranglers. They were the Padres affiliate starting in 1987, and they became the Royals affiliate in 1995. In 2008, the franchise rebranded and relocated. They became the Northwest Arkansas Naturals instead of the Wichita Wranglers, and they moved to Northwest Arkansas. It was pretty funny. Little note, the only really note I have for them is they were almost the Thunder Chickens. They did like a online poll to help them name their team, and it was a barely slim cut. They were almost the Thunder Chickens, and it's funny, they actually embrace it because every so often they'll do a theme night where they have like alternative identity night, and they pull out Thunder Chickens theme stuff, so they'll be the Thunder Chickens for a night, which is pretty funny. What do we got in High A?
So High A, Quad Cities River Bandits, they're in the Midwest League. I remember whenever this happened, a lot had changed around MLB and how the minor league system works there. And I remember, I'm still in the stadium tidbit, but I remember,
go ahead.
I remember checking them out and like, oh, where do they play? Okay, they're on the eastern side of Iowa, and their stadium literally sits on the Mississippi River. So the outfield is along the Mississippi River. Illinois is right on the other side. It is sweet, and Moses and I are going to try to go up there at some point.
A couple fun facts. So this is kind of what you mentioned. There was a big restructure. So in the 2020, 2021 timeframe, there was a really, really big restructure, and I'll just read off what this ChatGPT thing helped me come up with. So around that time, MLB completely overhauled the minor league system because they believed that there was too many affiliate teams, too much traveling, outdated facilities, poor living conditions for players, and so on. So the MLB cut the affiliated teams from 160 to 120. So 40 teams got just completely dropped off this list. And you'll soon find out it's mostly the rookie ball, because all of the rookie ball teams, that entire league got dropped as an affiliate. So 30 teams of that list is gone from that. They shortened the draft. So it used to be 50 rounds. So now it's going all the way down to 20, which is kind of crazy. So you got to do a little bit more work. This move was really controversial because over 40 cities lost their affiliated baseball entirely. But the MLB argued that the changes would actually improve player salaries, player development, travel, facility standards. And a bunch of teams actually changed their MLB partnerships in 2021. Or this resulted in a bunch of MLB teams changing their partnerships. So part of this, High A, Single A, and Rookie Ball, all of these are kind of lumped into this category. It's like a 10-year contract structure where they're going to be affiliates for a long time. So reason I bring all this up, I remember the Wilmington Blue Rocks. They were our affiliate team from 2007 to 2020 before this change. So whenever we heard this was the team, I was like, yeah, I've heard of it, but I feel like it hasn't been. The Wilmington Blue Rocks, they were our affiliate for the longest of any high A team. But, yep, now it's Quad Cities since 2021. They started with the Royals, and they've been a team since 1960. They've had a bunch of different affiliates, and it was fun. There was a big list of teams. There was, let me get to that real quick. So before they were the affiliates of the Royals, they were affiliates for teams like the Astros, the Cardinals, and so on. And they had some really cool players. They had players like Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Alvarez, Framber Valdez, Colton Wong, Matt Carpenter, Joe Mauer, Johan Santana. So it's pretty funny knowing that this team has had a lot of those crazy players in their uniforms. So that's really all I got. Besides that awesome stadium, which I'm excited to see someday, that's really it for the Quad City River Bandits and High A. So next we got Single A.
Single A affiliates, the Columbia Fireflies out of South Carolina in the South Carolina League. This is another team that has just recently been paired with the Royals in 2021 with that whole restructure.
Yep. And really the only tidbits I have about the Fireflies is that the town they come from, the Savannah, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina area, they had a Mets affiliate team in that city. That franchise moved away. They're gone. But then later on in the 2016 timeframe, the Savannah, Georgia team moved to Columbia and they rebranded to the Fireflies. The reason that they're called the Fireflies, apparently up in those like Appalachian Mountain areas, there's little areas that have like tons, millions of fireflies that like actually light up the whole area. Next and lastly, we have Rookie Ball.
Rookie Ball. You probably hear about this one a lot as well. This player did X, Y, and Z down in Rookie Ball. So that's down in Surprise, Arizona, where the Royals do their spring training. And basically every team has a team in Rookie Ball that is at their spring training facility. So you have the Arizona Complex League, you have the Florida Complex League. That's just where young new players basically go in and get their work done. It's centralized coaching, less travel. Everything's just kind of done in that one place.
Yeah, it's awesome. It just seems like there's... Go ahead.
I was saying, it's from a record standpoint, I know minor league records aren't really that deep, but they're 12-4. They're first place in the Arizona Complex League. They're the one minor league affiliate that's kind of killing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned it. You remembered that the Rookie Ball team was the Burlington Royals.
I did, yeah.
And I did not remember that, but it turns out same time that we adjusted in High A to the Wilmington Blue Rocks in 07, we also transitioned to the Burlington Royals. So we had them from 07 to 21, same exact time frame as the Wilmington Blue Rocks in High A. And the Burlington Royals, they were part of a league called the Appalachian League, and the Appalachian League was completely dropped off entirely whenever the MLB did their minor league affiliate restructure. So the Appalachian League, they actually transitioned to being a wood bat only summer ball league. So all of these college eligible players, draft eligible or college recruitment eligible, that's the league that they go to play their summer ball and get used to wooden bats and kind of get their names out there. And now they're the Burlington Sock Puppets. So shout out to Burlington Sock Puppets. So now we have an in-house. It seems like we have a little in-house Royals team, the Surprise Arizona Royals. They're doing pretty good. And I said last week that the Royals are what we are. Either we're going to have to start trading people away, or we're going to have to dive deep into our minor leagues and start bringing people up. We only have a couple choices. Or we can believe in who we have. So if we're not happy with the team that we have right now and people aren't performing, either those people have to start performing, we're going to start trading them away, or we're going to start calling up players from the minor leagues.
You know, on the same conversation of, man, there's some stuff that I feel like we haven't been talking about that we need to talk about a little bit more. And then the other thing is national news. So just kind of picking out something that sticks out to us each week from a national perspective in Major League Baseball. So we have a few things we want to go over real quick that we just stuck out to us or just our fun little tidbits of information, and I'm gonna go one that I love. I love when this happens. Is always really cool. So Brian Torres, who's bounced around the minors for 11 years, he came up, made his Major League Baseball debut with the St. Louis Cardinals. He's 28 years old. In his Major League debut, like I said, he's been in the minors for 11 years, so this is a long time coming. He hit a home run and he reached base 3 times. So that is amazing. I don't know how much Brian Torres has left in the tank from a Major League Baseball perspective. For all I know, he might be back down in the minors. I don't think that's true. But to be able to come up, man, I've been waiting so long for this. And then you hit a home run. Like, you can't make that up. It reminds me of, like,
no better feeling.
Paulo Orlando. I don't think Paulo Orlando hit a home run in his Major League Baseball debut.
Paulo Triple O.
He was 29 years old, I believe, when he made his Major League Baseball debut for the Royals. So it's just cool. Like, you put in the work. I know there was a story of, like, 5 years ago, Brian Torres was like, man, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. What's the point? And, you stuck it out. And, maybe you're not going to be a Hall of Famer, obviously, but you got there. And look what happened.
Yep. Another quick story, fun little thing that happened is the Houston Astros. They threw a combined no-hitter yesterday. Total of 1, 2, 3 pitchers combined. Bear with me while I try to say these names. Tatsuya Imai, their starting pitcher, threw 6 innings. Steven Okert threw 1 scoreless inning, and then Alimber Santa threw 2 innings. If I understand correctly, Alimber Santa, whatever, it wasn't his major league debut, but it was something like that. Like, he's very new to the MLB.
I don't know.
If I remember this,
Alimber Santa is just a very physically fit,
Alimber
flexible Santa Claus. He's in much better.
That's
shape.
Alimber Santa right there. That's Alimber Santa right there. But yeah, really cool to see. That was the first no-hitter of the season. This is the longest that the MLB season's gone without a no-hitter in recent history. So,
and to kind of call back to Stephen Kolek's low strikeouts, they only threw 4 strikeouts in this no-hitter. They had 5 walks, but very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got a few things before we get out of here. And you were telling me before we got on, you're like, I have this big story I need to tell you. I can't tell you because I want to tell it on the record. I want to get your genuine reaction. So,
yeah,
story time.
So, yeah, story time here at ELR. So let me real quick pull these up. So I have a few videos to show you. Videos that I'm going to have to save and quickly stream to you. Actually, I'll just text them to you. I'll text them to you because that'll be a little bit faster, okay?
Okay.
So last night, the hour is 11. It's like 11:45. Cass and I winding down, getting in bed, getting ready to hit the hay, and Cass notices that there was a couple police cars outside. And if you know anything about law enforcement, whenever you see police cars outside, but they don't have their lights on, you know that they're trying to be in dark mode. I don't know if it's dark mode or whatever. My dad would probably be mad that I said that, and it's probably not right. They have their lights off. They don't do lights and sirens. They don't want to alert people that they're there. So I see that there's 2 police cars sitting there, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? I go out there, and it's funny. I step out onto my deck. My lights are all on 24/7. And I walked out there, and the cop is sitting there on his phone, bald guy, and he goes, and I saw his light from his phone shining up his face, and then he puts his phone down, and I was like, oh, okay, so he doesn't want to be seen. So I step back inside, and I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, yeah, they're definitely taken out. Maybe they're waiting for someone to get home, serve a warrant. Who knows what it might be. About 10 minutes later, I notice a light goes by our window. And I'm like, was that their spotlight? I run out there, and one of the cop cars, an additional 3rd cop car, is driving by our house with the lights shining. Okay? And I'm like, oh, are they looking for someone right here? Like, all my doors are locked. I'm happy with that. All my blinds are closed, curtains are closed. That's good. I'm safe in my house. But there might be someone outside the house. Like, what are they doing? So I look at my notifications on my phone. Just so happens, my phone says human has been spotted on one of my cameras. And I was like, did a cop run by or something? I open up my camera to look at what just happened. I just texted you a couple videos. There's 3 videos. One of which is 5 seconds long. It's the gray thumbnail.
Oh.
One of which is another thumbnail, but the black thumbnail is the second one. Look at the gray one. Play that video.
I see it. Oh my gosh.
There's a dude hiding from the police in our backyard, creeping around, peeking around, and you can literally see in that video, you can see the spotlight going around looking for him. So instantly, right then, I say out loud, there's a dude in our backyard. And I get on Siri without saying anything, and I say, call 911. And my wife is like, me? What? I need to call 911? What's happening? There's someone in our backyard. So obviously that's a terrifying situation. But I'm like, no, there's someone in our backyard. I'm calling 911. I just use Siri. So I get on the phone and I say, hey, so there's a couple of police officers in my neighborhood, and I think they're looking for somebody, and I think that somebody's in my backyard. I have a video on my backyard Ring camera of some person peeking around the corner acting suspicious. And they're like, okay, can you maybe describe this individual? And I was like, black male, black pants, black beanie. That's all I can say. That's all I can see. Dreadlocks. That's all I can see. So they're like, okay, yeah, we were called out for a domestic disturbance, and I think we're looking for someone that matches that description. But I think we got it under control. So nothing for you to be worried about or anything. We'll handle it from here. So I'm like, okay. About 10 minutes later, same thing. They're just still kind of like peeking around. Nothing's happening. If you go to that bottom third video, that's the second video. So my wife was watching the video, and there's this bug on the camera. She didn't even notice. This dude is on all fours, crawling around, trying to not be seen. And my floodlight comes on, and he storms off because he was in the light. He didn't want to be seen. So that's really it. It's a long video. It's only the first 10 seconds that's relevant. Okay. So I call them back, and I'm like, hey, it's been 10 minutes. This guy is still in my backyard. He's peeking around. This guy, you got to get him now. I can't, this has to happen now. I'm going to stay on the phone until you get him. So lo and behold, the cops run around. They catch him. We heard on our camera. We were listening on the camera. He was yelling, go away, go away, go away. And a couple minutes later, we notice all the cops with the guy in handcuffs walking him to the car. What's your honorable mention of the week,
My
Brandon?
honorable mention, I'm so excited. The New York, okay, you guys know, big NBA fan. Actually, I'm wearing a Dallas Mavericks shirt literally right now. But New York Knicks just swept the Cleveland Cavaliers and are going to their first NBA Finals since 1999. They're trying to win their first finals since 1973. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because of Jalen Brunson. If you know anything about NBA, Jalen Brunson started at Villanova, came in with the Mavericks, carried the Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago when Luka was hurt, kind of made a name for himself. Dallas Mavericks front office completely fumbled the bag on retaining Jalen Brunson. I'm not going to get into the weeds as to what happened there, but they screwed up his contract in a way that he was an unrestricted free agent. Anyway.
Yep.
I'm not sad. I'm not hurt that Jalen Brunson isn't a Mav. It's not his fault. I'm actually happy for him because he went out, signed with the Knicks, proved himself. Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. And they're just awaiting the winner of the Spurs Thunder. So that's my honorable mention. Is really more for Jalen Brunson than the Knicks, but cool for the Knicks because it's been almost 30 years since they've even been to a finals.
My honorable mention was actually going to be the Mavericks until I remembered. Yeah, I was going to mention the Kansas City Mavericks and their run. But I remembered NASCAR legend Kyle Busch passed away this week. Very, very young, way too soon, almost surreal. We all saw the video of him, just his last victory a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, where they were like, does this ever get old? How is it for you? How's it feel? And he was like, it feels amazing because you never know which one's going to be your last. And turns out that was his last victory, which is insane to think about. And I was just doing a quick surface level dive into some of his statistics because I'm not a huge NASCAR fan. Obviously, I love racing. I could sit down and watch any race.
One of the goats.
Yeah, but he is one of the GOATs, if not the best. If you look at his combined wins across NASCAR with the Cup, the Xfinity, and the truck races, he has over 240 wins with his entire career. That's by far the most of anyone ever. All-time Xfinity Series winner with 102. He's basically the Tom Brady of that entire area of NASCAR. He's the only ever driver with 60-plus wins in all 3 NASCAR National Series. He holds the modern era record for most combined NASCAR National Series wins in one season with 24 in 2010, and the list goes on and on and on and on. He won a race on his birthday, and he did it twice, so that's a great birthday present for him. 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion in 15 and 19. And you know what is insane? You know what is actually insane? The week he passed away, for the first time in years and years, just so happened, you saw it last week, I had just bought the gigantic Sam's Club pack of peanut M&Ms. Man. God works in mysterious ways. The universe just threw these into my lap right when Kyle Busch ascended. So, shout out Kyle Busch. Shout out his family. We know he has wife and kids, so prayers up for them. Everybody loves Kyle Busch. Everybody loves peanut M&Ms. No, hey, if you don't like peanut M&Ms, you're lying. So, shout out Kyle Busch. Everybody loves him. Not to end on a sad note, but hey, we don't have to end on a sad note. Let's be happy that we got to watch Kyle Busch rock that peanut M&M NASCAR for so long. So, that's all I got for honorable mentions. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the fine people this week?
Yes. If you're going to the Savannah Bananas this weekend, I'm jealous. Have fun. That's all. Also, though, yeah, no, that's all. Yeah. And another thing, no.
Okay.
No. Actually, my honorable mention is, it is my wife and I. You can say happy anniversary to my wife and I because we are celebrating 10 years of marriage this Thursday. So, shout out to Celeste. I love you. Shout out to Finn. And yeah, she hasn't watched this, so I'm saying this to nobody.
Happy anniversary, brother. I'm very happy that you were my first brother-in-law. I mean, I was so when you guys started dating, I was 17. Yeah, 17. That was a very interesting time for me.
Well,
so
it's crazy.
We've been through a lot of things.
Yeah, we have. I was thinking about it because Shad just graduated high school this week, or last week, and I've known Shad. He's 18 now. Yeah, he's 18 now. I've known him since he was 8 years old, and I remember one of the funniest things Shad ever said to me, little 8-year-old Shad. Celeste and I were playing pool, and like Shad, being an 8-year-old, wanted to hang out with us, and we were kind of like, bro, can you like go? And he didn't take too kindly to that, so he goes, nobody's going to be happy when you're married. You know what? Take that, Shad. 10 years later, everybody's happy.
So true.
Nobody's going to be happy when you're in the NFL, Shad. How about that?
Take that. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Can't believe that was 10 years ago, bro.
I know.
Hey, 10 years ago, so 9 years, 364 days, and like a few hours ago, my one job after your bachelor party was Celeste says, hey, make sure Brandon goes to sleep on time. I don't want him tired tomorrow during the wedding. I need him fully rested. So you and I, of course, out of anyone you could have talked to, anyone you could have slept next to, we laid there and talked until like 4 or 5 a.m. The sun was coming up, and we were like, frick.
Yeah, a couple of things there.
So
why you got put in charge of that, I don't know. Why we had a bachelor party the night before the wedding, I also don't know. But we did it. I was fine. Everything worked out.
Yes, sir. 10 years later, happy it happened. Now we have a podcast.
Yep.
The way life works is crazy.
If anything happened that I'm happy about, it's that you and I have a podcast.
If we would have just known and started the podcast when you guys got married,
who knows? Yeah,
we'd be celebrating 10 years of ELR.
I know.
It's okay. I think 10 years ago, Brandon had some other obligations and priorities at the time.
I did.
Like hammering solid blocks of ground beef because he forgot to thaw it.
Dude, hey, you know what? You figure it out. You figure it out in life. Literally a hammer and a screwdriver on a just rock solid. You could have thought it out. Could have waited. Could have done a lot of different things, but opted for the hammer. Melted a plastic bag of cheese on the stove.
Oh my gosh.
Accidentally dumped an entire pot of spaghetti down the drain. The landlord of that apartment did not care for that.
Oh man.
we got a lot done, but hey, you live and learn.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations. 10 years is a big accomplishment, so we're very proud.
Yep.
Everybody loves marriage. Everybody loves 10-year anniversaries. That's all I got, brother.
Alrighty. All right.
All right. Let's get the frick out of here.
See ya.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
See you later. See you later.
Peace.